There was like this realization that they could kill any of them and kind of get away with it. It wasn't really seen as a racist murder.
Welcome to Traveling the World Without Leaving London. I want to learn more about the history behind the immigrant group, go to their cultural district, try an activity, and obviously do a food tour. And today I'm going to India or Punjab, and I'm here to do that in Southall. But before I do anything cultural or foodie, first I need to learn a little bit more about their history. For this, I'm at the Gunnersbury Park Museum to visit an exhibition on how Southall changed the country.
My name's Ishri. I'm the curator here at Gunnersbury Park Museum. The Punjabi community in Southall arrived around the 1950s. So there was like an increase of migration to Southall because of the work. So there were a lot of industries in West London. It's hard to speak for the white population as a whole. I think it was just strange. They had never met people from the other side of the world. They also had been fed stereotypes. They're unclean, that like they carry diseases. So you did have big groups that were very hateful and 100% disagreed with the migration. You see that with the rise of the National Front. You see that also in Ealing, particularly there was a residents association that really campaigned against South Asian people and Caribbean people being able to like purchase homes. They were really against migration. They were really against integration in schools. They had this idea that Southall had been overrun by immigrants, and that was the main way it was talked about in the media and perceived at the time. So in 1976, you see the death of Gurdeep Singh Chuggar. He was an 18-year-old Punjabi boy who was studying engineering, who was killed outside the Victory Pub, I believe, in Southall. And this is really the turning point in Southall's history. It was this moment, especially for young people in Southall, where there was like this realization that they could kill any of them and kind of get away with it. It wasn't really seen as a racist murder in the eyes of the police. And it was really fought for by the family and the community to see it that way. What was happening in Southall was happening kind of all over the country. So, it was like this exchange of knowledge about how do you do grassroots community work, how do you advocate your own community. And that is like really the strength of how the country eventually changed, and the way like, multiculturalism and all of these things were changed in the way that it was seen. And they were part of these really big movements like Rock Against Racism. They were nationwide movements around anti-fascism and racism. So they were a part of that bigger movement that led the country towards a more progressive stance on all of these things.